Right, well I hope that by now you've got your score calculating the correct answers, and I hope that you've had a go at getting it to calculate the incorrect answers as well. If you haven't tried on your own to write the code that you need for the incorrect answers, stop this video now and go back and look at your code and look at your quiz and have a go yourself and see if you can work out what the code is, because essentially it's the same as for the number correct. But if you have had a go and you're still not quite sure, it's not quite working right, you carry on watching and I'm going to go through it now. So we are looking, let's go into our Visual Basic Editor. Now, because we're looking to store the number of incorrect answers, the number of wrong answers, and because we want to store something, then we need our object. So like having a box for your DVDs, we need an object in which to store the number wrong. And the object with dimensions is known as dim. So we need to create our dim and we need to give it a name so we'll recognise it. So we'll call it number wrong. So we've created our object, first of all, to store something in. Now if you just start looking down the code you've already got, let me just maximise. We've got a subroutine called start, and when that runs it sets the number correct to 0. And now what we wanted to tell it to do is to also set the number wrong to 0. There we go. The start, we're going to move down here so that we get our username popping up, and the start subroutine runs. So number correct will set to 0 and number wrong will set to 0. Now this subroutine correct, which runs when someone gets the answer correct, has this subroutine here, add correct answer, to run a subroutine, which we have a look here what the subroutine called add correct answer does. It adds 1 to the number correct. So if we go down onto our next subroutine, wrong, what happens when you get the answer wrong, we're going to need to run a subroutine in here called, well, we haven't created it yet, but let's say it would be called add wrong answer. That would make sense. So at the moment we have our subroutine called add correct answer and we have a subroutine called final score. But what we don't have and what we need to create is our subroutine called add wrong answer. So it's essentially the same as the add correct answer. The number wrong equals number wrong plus 1. So now when they get the answer wrong, this add wrong answer subroutine runs and 1 mark is added to the number wrong. And in here, this one we haven't looked at yet, the final score, where we get a message box saying you've scored and then the number correct. We can add to this and we can say we scored and number correct, ampersand, and so we say you scored, we have to put in the word correct, because that number correct will be a number. So you scored, let's say 1 correct, space, and ampersand, oh no, let's not, we'll say, we need to say what it's going to say. You scored, say 1 correct, but you got, that'll do, and ampersand number wrong. I think that might be okay. Save it, see if it goes red. Okay, it hasn't gone red. We'll have to test it, won't we, to see if it works. So F5, Bob's here again to play. He'll get 1 wrong and he'll get 1 right. Click OK. You scored 1 correct, but you got 1. Have forgotten to put the wrong in. So all I have to do is go into my Visual Basic Editor, and you got what, and I need to put what do I need to put? I need to put and wrong. I may need to put a space in there. So I'm going to fiddle around with that and check that it works and see whether I need to make any more changes to my but you got one wrong. Good, so I don't need to make any. Oh yes I do, I've got a space missing between the one and the wrong. So I'm going to fiddle around and sort that out while you go and sort yours out.